Hey, it's Soul, bringing you the World of Warcraft, and I don't know why I'm so washed out. I'm like, ugh. Today I'm going to share my thoughts, and I'm going to ask you guys too. So what are you guys going to do if you happen to have extra artifact power before 7.2 comes out? Obviously not everyone's going to be in that spot. Some people have alt specs, some people have alts with their own alt specs, and they want to kind of spread the work and try to power everything up, kind of evenly. Other players such as myself couldn't care less about their alt specs, and they don't really, give too much of a damn about their alts either. So while I'm not grinding day by day for artifact power, I'm pretty sure that in the next couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks or so, I'm probably going to hit rank 54 on my weapon. So of course, seeing the announcements from Blizzard about, hey, this is what we're going to do with artifact power, we're going to take, we're going to add some more traits, we're going to, add another tree, some golden trait things and what have you. It kind of made me think, okay, what am I going to do in a couple weeks when I do, hit rank 54 and, I don't care about getting artifact power at all. I am going to get it anyway because I'm still going to run dungeons, I'm still going to do raids, I'm still going to get it automatically. So what am I going to do with it? Obviously, the first answer is I'm going to be spending it on my alt specs anyway. I already don't have a lot of inventory space, so I'm going to end up using it anyway. But should I save some of it? And by that I mean like the bigger tokens that are worth like at least 100 or 100,000 or so artifact power. So I looked at the PTR, which effectively told me nothing because I don't have a rank 54 weapon, and there are things that I probably can't see because I don't have a rank 54 weapon. One interesting thing to point out is that there was a quest that was in the alpha and the beta for a while where you have to travel around and pick up these books for your artifact weapon, and then you can start researching your artifact knowledge. That was taken away, obviously, you guys haven't experienced it, but for whatever reason it's back in the PTR. I'm not quite sure what that means yet, and I'm not going to speculate on that too far because I guess officially the artifact knowledge, the trait stuff, that's not officially available for testing yet. Right now they're just working on demon invasions and stability like they said, and as we progress from build to build, we're going to start seeing more stuff. So what I want to try to do today is kind of skim the surface of what is probably sort of going to happen. We're not just working with PTR content, but stuff that's just been data mined, so that is as unreliable as it gets. With that said, it'll at least give me a ballpark answer as to what kinds of behaviors I should take for over the next couple weeks or months or so, at least until something drastic changes. If it turns out that I shouldn't have been saving my artifact power, okay, then I'll just use it, not a big deal. What I'm going to explore is what's the maximum benefit out of saving your artifact power for, as much as you can before the patch comes out. So I'm looking behind the screen and I'll provide like screenshots and whatnot of what I'm looking at. So I'm looking at Wowhead at the Truth Guard artifact weapon, and I set it to rank 34. I gave it all the basic traits and not the last 20-point trait that we're used to. Now it's interesting that there is the second tree that's going to give you certain skills and whatever. Some of them are placeholders. It's not a big deal. I'm not really going to talk about those today. But I noticed that I'm not able to put in points into the 20-point trait that I have in the live game. So the first bit of speculation on my part is that perhaps when 7.2 drops, we're going to be refunded all the points that went into that 20-point trait. We're just going to have, a crap ton of artifact power to spend on, well, that other tree over there. Which means that putting points into this tree is now kind of the new requirement in order to unlock that 20-point trait. And at least according to Wowhead it is. I both have the 20-point trait unlocked and that new placeholder trait unlocked that means pretty much nothing, except for the fact that it is a 20-point trait. So notice that I'm rank 40, and being at rank 40 gives me an opportunity to put my next point, my 41st point, into one or the other of the 20-point traits. What this means, and I'm kind of getting to my next point of speculation, if you're interested in trying to balance out your artifact knowledge or artifact power gain to the best of your ability, if it's spread across multiple specs and alts and whatnot, if you have your artifact weapons at least rank 42, you'll be able to get, I guess, the most gain from spreading your efforts around. Of course, for the existing 20-point trait, you get a nice bonus followed by a huge diminishing return after that. We might speculate that the new 20-point trait might have a similar kind of, huge gain from the start and then a huge diminishing return afterwards. We can also, of course, speculate that one or the other trait will not be available when you get to that point. So if you can only put 1 point into just one of those traits, well, you're still going to be in a good spot as long as you're at 42. So my recommendation is to get your weapons to rank 42. The next bit of juicy info is what happens after rank rank 54. So according to Wowhead, at least to get to rank 54, we need 4.6 million artifact power. Once you get to 54, it goes up to 4.8 million. And then 5 million for the next, and 6 million for the next, so now you're at rank 56. The interesting thing is that, again, according to Wowhead, it caps off at 6 million, so getting all the way up to the maximum rank, which happens to be 80, is only going to cost you 6 million artifact power per point. Now, of course, I said only 6 million, that's still going to be a really daunting amount of artifact power to gain. According to this, you're looking at 220 million artifact power. Of course, with that huge requirement, there is a understandable, well, another prediction or bit of speculation that there's going to be like new sort of artifact catch-ups available, like the compendiums. They might have new compendiums that come out in 7.2 as we get to future builds. Of course, these could be just naturally gated from your main character getting their artifact knowledge tomes every 5 days or so, and then once they hit like a milestone, like let's say you get to artifact knowledge 30, and then you can unlock a tome that gets your alts and whoever to knowledge 25, like instantly at the low cost of 1,000 resources. Buy now. On the flip side, for new players, they may be able to purchase artifact knowledge tomes. Instead of just capping out at, I think it's like 15 right now, they might be able to cap out to 20 and 25 and so on and so forth. Depending on how much artifact knowledge, how far that goes up. So let's get to the actual question now, all right? Should you hoard your artifact power? And I guess the short answer is you'll get like a teeny little gain from it. Because going back a couple of screens, once we're at rank 54, we're going to need 4.8 million artifact power in order to get to the next point, followed by 5 million, followed by 6 million. So in order to hoard artifact power, naturally we're going to want to hold on to the biggest chunks of artifact power that we can, because we only have so much inventory space. You might have a lot, but even then, it's not going to get you all the way up to rank 80, especially if these artifact power requirements are just placeholders, and in fact they are going to scale up past 56 or wherever I left off at. But if we do go with the new rank requirements that are scaling up to 4.8 million, 5 million, and then 6 million, naturally the math is what, 16 million-ish or so? Let's go with 16 million. So you want to have 16 million artifact points worth of tokens. Fuck. That means we're going to need 100 to 150 inventory slots to hold on to this stuff. That's not a lot of rank levels. It's not 0 rank levels either, so well, decide for yourselves. So I guess the answer is, yeah, sure, go ahead and try to save it. I suggest just taking an approach of taking the small tokens and use them for your alt specs, because that's still going to mean something. But hold on to the big ones, because that might get you, those precious couple of levels on day 1 of 7.2. Is it going to make a huge difference? Hell no. But I ain't here to give you a tip. I'm just trying to answer my own question out loud, and well, take what you want from it. So I'm going to try to save space for artifact power, even though I know it's very futile. If you look at my inventory, my god. I shared my thoughts, so share your thoughts, and stay breezy.